What up?
Hey,
Good morning.
hey, what's up?
Good morning. Welcome to
Hello.
today's thing.
I'm Jules or Julian.
I'm Ephraim.
Yeah, F. And
Welcome.
yeah, we are Polo Lewis.
We are.
That's you'll figure out what that means if you don't know already. Welcome to our podcast where we just say whatever. My legs really hurt today.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, not as bad as I thought they were going to. Usually 2 days after is is the worst day after snowboarding. Yesterday was pretty bad, so I shot them with the gun.
Okay.
Like the
yeah.
And that helped a lot.
Sick.
But yeah. Anyways, we went to a mountain.
We went skiing and
We slid
snowboarding.
down it a bunch. Yeah, it was fun times.
For those who might be in the south, you will not know what that is.
No.
But it is basically where you slide down a mountain.
Yep.
Like a snowy mountain on.
Yep.
Basically.
It's like some wood.
Yeah,
or
cutting.
like I think they're fiberglass by this point.
Yeah.
Something.
Plastic.
Some kind of
If you ever
composite.
jet
Some
skied.
kind of composite material.
Yeah. Jet. If you're in Texas, is there a lot of... Do you jet ski in Texas?
I guess so. It also skiing, has the word ski in it.
Ski. Yeah, but you're not being attached to anything. You're not like being...
What? Oh, you mean
It's like jet
water,
ski usually.
water skiing?
Well, yeah, I'm thinking water ski.
skiing.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
wakeboarding,
Water skiing.
but on a mountain,
Oh, jet ski is the...
like downhill.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, I think people know what skiing is.
I think so,
I
yeah.
think most people.
Like we're mansplaining.
I think people know what skiing is probably. Anyways, that's why my legs hurt.
That's what happened.
Yes. This is why it's taken us 5 years to get this project off the road.
Yeah.
As you can tell, a little bit of ADHD going on here.
Some of it. We got a lot of ideas.
Many ideas, great ideas.
Many ideas.
Fantastic ideas. World-class ideas.
Solid ideas. We could be in a pitch meeting. Honestly.
Oh, man. Oh, if I get enough money one day,
Yeah. Yeah.
just gonna do just dumb stuff.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have 5 startups. Just dumb.
Yeah.
What are you doing? Oh yeah, I decided to try and make the hoverboard.
Yeah.
From Back to the Future.
Nice.
So I'm working on it. Stuff like that. Who cares?
Just hire some guys from like MIT.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everyone needs jobs. Fuck,
Yeah.
let's try and figure some stuff out.
This is what we're focusing on, hoverboards right now.
Anyway, good morning or whatever
morning.
time of the day it is, wherever you are.
Welcome.
We are here in our studio, about to start another day of work on this mountain of a project, but we just slid down a mountain,
We did.
so we feel like
We're just...
we can conquer we need a chairlift.
We need a chairlift.
We need a chairlift
Okay.
in this project.
Yeah.
We need a metaphorical chairlift.
That's investment, people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're gonna have to pay for the infrastructure
For
that
chairlifts.
like in order to get a chairlift if you want to have an easier time getting up the mountain.
Yeah.
Or find someone else who has already built said infrastructure.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
pay them to use their chairlift.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Probably more like that.
Yeah.
Because like building a whole chairlift.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know if anyone has ever tried to start a label out there, but yeah, that's it's a bit of a project. There's a lot to do there.
You just you think it's gonna be just like a few things.
Yeah.
Just like with anything, nothing's really all that easy.
No.
Especially in a competitive landscape like this, right? You have to set yourself different from what is like everyone else is doing, right? You can't just be an artist who puts out music or who puts out a music video.
Yeah.
There's an infrastructure of like marketing around it.
Right. Or it goes even further. Like you can't just be a rapper now. You have to be a rapper who sings.
Yeah.
Like everybody has to do more than
Yeah.
just the one job now. Like I think we're moving to a place where everybody has to be multi-skilled and multi-talented.
Yeah.
In order to get shit done.
What's
But
the-
more than anything else, you have to build the whole thing.
Yeah.
Like it's no longer if you tell them about it, then they'll help you do it situation. It's you have to do all of it.
Right.
And then someone will come along and be like, "Oh, this is going well for you."
This is
Like, and you're like, "Yeah." It's like, would it be helpful if you had more money to do this better? And you're like it would, of course. And then, yeah. But
yeah, I think I read something that I don't know. It's a lot of doing your own work. But just pick anything in the world. It's like, you say you want to make a music video or stuff like that. It's technically you could just take out your phone and start filming a music video.
Yeah.
That's totally something that you could do.
Yeah.
But in terms of performing at a high level, it's all right. We need a camera crew. We need audio capture. We need someone who's going to edit. We need all of these different things. Yeah. So for every component of the project, you can. We were talking about this the other day, where you can play at whatever like skill you want to, or whatever level you want to play.
Yeah.
And so you can go low budget, and that can just be your thing.
If you're really aggressive about cutting costs, you can literally cut all of the costs.
Every cost,
and do 100% of the things yourself. Cut to us, like sitting here.
Exactly.
In our own studio.
Yeah.
With $30 lights and this like phone.
One of our phones.
On a tripod.
Yeah.
That's a level of cutting costs that like at a certain point starts to fire back at you. Yeah. Because eventually you don't have any time to do anything because you're doing all of the different jobs required to make an album like release happen or something. Right. For example, like that's like something that requires usually a team of people to do like a couple weeks worth of work. So if you're by yourself or just the two of us, right, then we're doing twice the 3 times the 4 times the amount of work.
It helps that we have 2 people in this project.
Certainly helps.
It does.
I used to be in a project that had 8 people in it. Counterintuitively, was not 8 times easier.
It doesn't tend to be like the whole too many cooks in the kitchen is a very like
definitely a thing. Yeah, I think
valid metaphor.
No one really agreed where we were driving.
Yeah,
that project. So there was a bit of an issue of someone takes over and they start steering the ship in a crazy direction, and we're like, oh, are we going to fucking the Azores? Like I thought we were going to France. Like what's going on? Yeah,
but you talk about assembly and just people who are on the same page as you, right? Yeah. That's really the most difficult thing, because I think there's a lot of people who say they want to take this seriously as a career, and I think there are a lot of people who do.
I feel like that means different things to different people, and it's very important to talk early on in a project with your co-collaborators about where that is, because like being a professional musician or like having a career in music, those are 2 very broad terms and can mean all sorts of things, right? Like I can have a career in music and be like a music editor for like Vice. Yeah. And I would still say I have a career in music, but I equally have a career in music if I'm like a bar musician who like has never made a penny doing a real job, and like 100% of my existence is funded by the goodness of other people and music. Yeah. And fucking I'm one of these like magical like fucking fairy unicorn people. Yeah. Yeah, but that person is equally having a career in music, right? As the person who just like has a regular 9-to-5 job that somehow involves music. Yeah. Yeah, so I think it's like too wide a term. Yeah. Or too wide a net to cast, like just like people who work in music.
Yeah. I think this is where it's important, what we were talking about the other day, which is like defining what success looks like to you. Yes. And it doesn't have to be, I think sometimes you'll go really narrow and you'll be like, I can only succeed if I get this, right? Or sometimes you go too wide and you're like, I have to be this great artist. I have to be this eclectic UGC.
Yeah. I also think like even something as simple as famous, like even if you're all musicians and you all play your individual instruments and you all agree that you want to be quote unquote famous, I think you all still have to have a conversation after that about what that means. Yeah, you know? Exactly. I think that's different things to different people. Like sometimes famous could be like, oh, all of the jazz students in Toronto know me and come to my shows at the Rex. That's famous for some people, which is fucking sweet.
It's valid,
Other people are famous on TikTok at 4 million followers, but play shows for 20 people. Yeah. And that's also fine. Yeah. Like, so it's all, I don't know, it's all relative.
Yeah. Right? You really have to pick your game.
Yeah, definitely to define where you're going with the people that you're trying to go there with, so that you don't fucking end up in a situation where you're like trying to pull something that you're working on together in different directions, right?
And there will be times, I mean, I've had this a lot as like a solo artist. There will be times where the people who were on the same boat as you for a minute are not really on it anymore. And I think it's important as an artist, as a musician, as anyone who's just creating content, is to know that it's a bit of an ongoing process.
Yeah.
For us, this is probably my like 4th or 5th project. I know you've been in quite a few.
I've been in too many projects.
Yeah.
I wouldn't say that playing drums is one thing, and like being involved in a project like that is another thing.
Right.
I would say that my number is probably similar. It's probably 5 or 6.
Right.
That I've been like on the like
Right.
board of directors or whatever,
Right.
like the table of people who are like, okay, what are we doing about
Right.
trying to make this work? Otherwise, it's just I show up when someone else has something else going on, like someone else has already successfully paid for and recorded an EP, and they're like, I am putting out my EP. Do you want to come play the drums
exactly.
for my show? Like, that's an easier thing for me to do.
Well, at that point, you're just hopping on,
I don't
right?
do shit.
Yeah.
I just listen to some tracks. I'm like, oh, that's a cool beat.
Yeah.
I play the beat, and I go home.
Yeah.
Like, great job. But yeah, so like in that capacity, I've worked with over 150
Right.
different artists and projects.
Right.
But in terms of
Actually, he'd be like, hey, this
like,
is...
all right, guys. We're going to put out a video next
Right.
week. Like, everybody share it to their Facebook. These are
Right.
the moves back in the day, by the way.
Right. We're doing the events page.
We have that show. Everyone
Guys, we
share
only
the
have-
Facebook event.
Yeah, we have 30 going, 80 maybe.
Yeah. Oh, man. When they made interested in
Yeah.
for Facebook events, it was game over. That was when I got off Facebook.
It's just like, okay, so you don't even give a shit about it.
Yeah. We're just literally, oh, so you're interested in the event, but you're not going to say you're coming or you're not coming.
Yeah.
You're just interested in it.
How do
I'm going to get notifications about this, but I'm not going to confirm this.
I give you the most vague answer?
Millennials are the most non-committal
Yeah.
people ever.
Yeah. I think maybe.
I actively say shit in my text messages all the time, like fucking maybe we'll see how I'm feeling that day.
Yeah.
Or,
Yeah.
oh, I have to see what my schedule is. Like shit like
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
And it's my favorite thing is canceling plans.
Yeah.
My absolute favorite thing.
Yeah.
If I have some shit planned and I have to go somewhere and I'm getting ready to go and my friend texts me and they're like, bro, yeah, I'm like sick. I can't make it. I'm fucking stoked, dude. Fucking just take my fucking jacket right off.
Backpack,
Sit
everything.
down, fucking turn the PS5 on. I have a PS5 now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's sick.
Yeah. And then fucking that's it.
That's all.
That's it.
That's it. That's
Game's
all.
over.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where's the AI tool that like adds bleeps for us? We got to figure that one out.
Oh, yeah.
There probably is one.
Oh, for sure.
Someone's made one.
Yeah, someone's. If there's it's probably in Descript.
I don't know if it is yet.
Okay. Not yet.
I haven't seen
Okay.
anything about that. But
Well, we'll just search up the word
maybe if
fuck,
we pay for
you know?
the pro,
Yeah.
then there's some other kind of
Or shit.
tools.
Or cock.
Oh, right. If we filter all of the
Yeah.
word, but then
Or anus, you
but
know?
then they won't. It'll take them out. It'll just delete them from the sentence. So there'll be a weird
If we could-
skip
okay.
where I said shit.
Yeah.
It'll just take it out. And that gap will be missing.
Okay.
We need someone to be like, boop.
We should come up with our own one.
Oh yeah.
Everyone uses beep, but sometimes they'll have a...
Yeah, I follow this YouTuber who uses the Game Boy, or no, it's not the Game Boy, it's the GameCube sound,
Okay.
but it's just the end, which is now my text
Uh-huh.
notification. I
Yeah.
thought it was hilarious.
Good.
So that's a funny one, but I can't knowingly just take that because she just nailed it so well. It's just great.
Well, also, Nintendo will just form up a lawsuit against anybody. They'll
Well-
form up a lawsuit against a child.
Yeah, GameCube is like probably a pretty
Yeah.
not worrying about it property for them at this
Yeah,
point. But
if we're like, whoa!
yeah, oh yeah, like someone's infringing on these.
Yeah.
Fucking copyrights are from Nintendo GameCube in 2002. They're like, and what do you want? You came to the morning meeting to
Yeah.
fucking tell us about that?
Yeah, we caught it. It's a couple of guys out of Toronto.
Okay.
We're gonna...
We're gonna
Lawsuit.
So like investigation. Can we have the lawyer or no? What?
But these guys! Yeah.
Who cares? It's why are you guys up here?
Yeah.
I didn't even know there was a GameCube team anymore. What are you guys doing up
You
here?
guys are tired like 12 years ago.
What the hell?
Fuck.
I literally thought we shut that whole department down. No, you said you needed 2 guys for mail and for IT.
Yeah. People are still sending in warranty requests. Hey, my GameCube doesn't work. Get a Switch.
So one miserable dude in the mail department And the other dude does IT for the one dude in the mail.
Yeah. Can I get a new disc? It's like, can I get a new disc?
There's one super chill IT dude who's just been chilling for 20 years because his job is fucking a joke.
Yeah.
And then there's the most stressed out fucking mail guy because there's one guy.
And can we get GameCube controllers for the new Switch?
Yeah, and these guys get a fucking notification that we're using the sound in our video.
Sorry.
Yeah, and so this is how we write stuff. Yeah. This is how stuff comes around. That you just heard something that probably is going to end up somewhere in the Plutoverse at some point. But this is the game. Yeah, this is the game.
So yeah, what were we talking about? We were talking
about like finding out where you're going. Yeah, and trying to agree with the people that you're going there with. Right. That you're going there.
Where do you start? What's a good place to start?
A good place to start is to look at other people who you would define as successful. I think for jazz musicians, they like look around the city at other successful professional musicians, and they're like, oh, what are these people doing? Right. And then they like have conversations with them at set break, and they're like, okay, so what's your like actual day to day? If you're talking to Polo Lewis, he's like, I practice 8 hours a day, and
then I come here,
and then I go to Humber and I teach for 2 hours, and then I fucking come to the Rex. Yeah. If you're talking to someone else, they're like, I work at a paint store. Right. And then I fuck. Right. So like it depends who you're talking to or who you're talking about. Right. In terms of your model of success. Right. And like your different mentors will have different strategies for making it out here. Right. It's rough out here. Right. You know? Yeah. Like the actual life thing, like once you get past the school thing. Yeah. Whoo. But it's why we look like this. If we're exactly. I used to look like good. Yeah.
If you're a Zoomer, if you're an Alpha, you guys have the internet. So we came up in the internet in the early stages of the internet. Not like early, like I guess I feel like I was still around with Web 1. And then Web 2 came around and we started like using social networks. Yeah. And that was like that was chaos.
Bit of a free for all there.
It was a free for all because
we've seen the Wild West happen a few times.
Yeah. And now obviously you guys have AI.
Influencers was like a joke for a while. Yep. And then they just had way more money than everyone, and we were like,
believe it or not, Instagram was really lame back in the day. It was a photo sharing app.
Well, and the sort of brand deals you were getting were just absolute jokes. Yeah. And at some point, the attention flipped, right? There's more people got on, and then once the attention was there, then the money followed the attention. Yep. As it always does. Yep. And here we are, which is the reason why you might see this clip on TikTok. Yep. So yeah. This is the world we live in. Yeah. Welcome to 2024.
So yeah, there's always groups, there's Reddit channels, there are still Facebook groups. Yep. There's Discord, there's all these different opportunities to be able to network with people. Mm-hmm. If you're the type of person that's shy.
Omegle just died. Who?
Omegle just died, yeah. Mm-hmm. Omegle's not there anymore.
Piece of internet history there.
And then if you're more like maybe Jules and I, you might want to go to some of the like actual venues and connect with people. Yeah. I don't know. Like I didn't grow up as a Zoomer, so I'm not as familiar with that kind of.
Yeah. Like I do relate to like getting stressed out when someone calls you instead of just texting you. Yeah. But I also like have phoned people. Yeah. To get a quicker answer than sending 8 text messages, which is, I know something that like, you know, maybe someone who was born with a 2 at the front of their birth year. Yeah. Like maybe wouldn't do, but.
Yeah, exactly. So if you're.
Like when it gets to essay proportions of text, then I'm like.
All right, yeah. Hey. No, I'll still send. Full send.
Well, it depends. If we're arguing, then I'm definitely fucking dunking on you with the essays.
Man. I'm getting tired of trying to just lecture people or teach people.
Oh yeah, no, how old are you right now?
29.
That's around when I burned out of that too. Yeah. Yeah, it gets real. I feel like your 20s is everyone's just trying to make sure everyone else is turning into sort of okay people because they're worried that they themselves are not turning into sort of okay people. Yeah. And so if you're around and I'm turning into a shit person, then like maybe I'm gonna make sure that you don't. Hey, you should fucking make sure you wake up and eat and go to the gym and shit because I want to see if you can do it. Well, because if you can do it, then I can do it. But I don't know if I can do it yet.
Well, I think it just takes time.
Oh yeah, for sure.
From your
I also think there's a whole performative nature to being like 24, 25 where you're like, yeah, I got up at 4 a.m. and I did like yoga.
My
I
single bed.
I went for a run for a while and I did some yoga. And really the reality is that you woke up at 11 a.m. and fucking took a shower 5 minutes before you were supposed to be somewhere and then arrived like 20 minutes late. And then you were like, yeah, I've just been like getting really into chakra meditation. Like it's this dichotomy of you're somewhere and you're pretending to be somewhere else.
Yeah.
And I think that is like a huge part of the realness that we're trying to portray with this project. I think everybody does that, and I think it's totally okay to do that, but it's like also the process of growing out of that is like becoming the person that you eventually turn out to be, right? Like if you just decide to always just be late and just become the person who's just always late and just by the time you're 28, 29, you're like, I don't know why you would expect me to arrive at 9 in the morning. Like I fucking told you, or like we agreed at 9 in the morning, like yesterday, but like it's 9 in the morning. Like you, me.
Well,
I've been around for 5-10 years.
I feel like that's where consistency actually comes into play.
Right.
Because if you're consistent with that, someone will fuck with you and they'll tell you to come in an hour earlier, and then you'll come in on time.
You'll come in on time accidentally.
Exactly.
Yeah. You'll show up when you would normally show up.
Yeah, exactly.
And fucking they'll be like, "Oh, you're perfect."
Nice, great. You're right here. All right, cool. Can
or
you
like
do
the door won't be open. And you're like, where the hell are you guys? And they're like, "Oh, we're just around the corner." And you're like, "What the fuck? I thought this started at 10." And they're like, "Yeah, you're an hour late for that." It starts at 11. We'll be there in 2 minutes.
I think it's definitely tough trying to find your place.
Yes.
It's a forever game.
Oh, for sure.
Because you change as a person.
Yep.
I think we really try to find out who we are and cement that person when we're as young as possible, so we can be like, I am X person and you know me as X person. Mm-hmm. And it's doable. I've seen people just make their choice and they just go off and do their thing.
For sure. But if you were a bad student or something, or like you got bad grades because you were like distracted or something in fucking high school, like there's no reason that you can't get good grades in university or can't. Like nothing dictates anything, you know, other than a decision that you make this morning or tomorrow to wake up and do whatever the plan is. If there isn't a plan, then maybe make a plan. I feel like lots of people live their lives on autopilot, where like things happen to them. Like they set up their little, I have my job, I got my thing, I go, and then just things just occur, right? Like outside factors. Right. And then they just react to them like they're the protagonist in like a video game or something. Right. But I think actively thinking about where you're trying to take your life and moving it in those directions. Talk to your artist friends because they've done all of this work already. I find like a lot of the Zoomers are like doing this kind of like metaphysical stuff right now. This kind of set goals and figure out what you're ultimately trying to do and be about and whatever and live your life to whatever. I think that stuff is like something that all fucking artists and musicians have to figure out before we even agree to let ourselves be artists and musicians. Right. You know what I mean? Fuck's sakes. It's Polo Day.
It's Polo Day. We gotta put that on mute. Oh, is that just
It's just the goddamn calendar.
Calendar notifications. All right.
It's the goddamn Google Calendar.
Sorry, you were saying.
What was I saying?
You were talking about the metaphysical stuff that like Zoomers are doing.
Yes.
And you were talking about how sorry, trying to like recall my brain. Trying to be like the best of what you can do, and you have to wake up and you got to do all these things. Yeah. Like defining yourself as a person, and you're talking about how like musicians need to like get on the same page.
Artists are already good at that. Yeah. If you have friends who are out there putting themselves out there trying to be a musician, like they've already figured that stuff out. Right. Like you can't really. Everyone has moments of crippling self-doubt. Yep. And I every year worry about whether or not this is the year that I just decide that maybe not anymore.
I was like every other week.
Music's like too hard. Yeah. Fuck this. Yeah. You know? But ultimately, the ones of us that are still here get up the next day and we decide that we're going to keep going. Like it's hard, it's expensive. But I would not be happy if I like didn't do this.
Yeah, you try other things. Life is, I think your 20s is really just about trying as much shit as you can.
Yeah, the great experiment.
Just do things. I know it's a cliche to follow your passion. I think a lot of people get that confused, and I think I got that confused. But honestly, in my 20s, I wish I would have followed my passion a little bit more. And I'm starting to feel as I'm going to 30s, like 30s is going to be really nice because I'm just going to be like, you know what, fuck what everyone else has to say. I'm going to try whatever I want to do.
Sure.
And like for a lot of the time, like I really wish those early 20s I tried and failed and fucked up a lot more than I actually did, because I'm starting to feel like my brain's become a little bit more clear over the past couple of years. And so it's like now I'm seeing, okay, these are the things that would have existed in my subconscious that would have actually become relevant now. Like I wanted to do culinary school. Would I have become a chef? Absolutely fucking not a chance. Have you seen The Bear? It's like that, but even more chaotic, and everyone's fucking each other.
I've worked in some kitchens.
And everyone's just so hectic, and people are stealing tips, and the customers give zero fucks about you.
Honestly, drama is fun on TV, but then in real life,
It's not.
It's super messy and stupid.
It's really bad.
Yeah.
And so, no, I wouldn't have wanted to become a chef or a cook or work in a kitchen at all. But would I have loved the fundamentals of cooking? Would I have loved to be able to learn how to, like, chop shit up?
Salt, fat, heat,
because
whatever.
it's I think this is a thing, right? It's all of these things. Like not every direction that you go has to be your ultimate end goal. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
You don't have to become a chef because you went to culinary school. Maybe you had an interest in cooking.
Yeah.
Like it's not. You don't need to be this fully evolved person.
I feel like a lot of people
person.
go to school and get an English degree.
Yeah.
And then go do nothing
Yeah.
that has to do with English. But some people become an English professor. Yeah, it just depends. Also, other people do school for 10, 15 years.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know, and just keep doing different degrees. That's the other thing. Just because you have one degree in something doesn't mean that's like it for you.
Yeah.
You can go do something for a while. Like you could work in a kitchen for no reason, even though you have a degree in English, and then
I have a friend.
and then after a while you could decide that you're going back to school, right, and then you like do your master's in something totally else.
Go to your doctorate,
right? Yeah,
you're just a degree collector.
Do another undergraduate in something else. Yeah, like literally
go into research.
These people are out there, and I feel like learning all of the time, regardless of whether or not you're in school, is really important. You got to make sure that you're trying to set yourself up so that you can always be taking in new information and assimilating it, because otherwise the information that you have is not going to be good for very long.
It's not. It's going to become old.
Information gets stale.
Exactly. Not everything, but I think a lot of stuff.
Especially in the music industry. Like if you figure out the way things work, quote unquote, in 2023, it's already 2024 now.
Yeah, exactly.
And things don't quite work the same way. Like most of what was going to work, but there's 10% new information. And every year there's going to be 10% new information until in 10 years, 0% of what you know is applicable. Right?
I think AI in music's going to be crazy.
I think
creating wild sounds and shit.
Computers have yet to make anything that I've found to be listenable.
But I think like the sampling aspect of that. So I shared a video.
I should qualify that statement because like obviously Skrillex makes music using computers. So like one could argue that's music made by computers that is listenable.
But it's the human direction, right? We're not going and pressing.
That's right. Any computer by itself thus far has not made anything that I've found to be very listenable. Like certainly a good imitation or approximation of an arrangement of sounds that someone might potentially call musical, but there's none of the human intention behind it because they don't know feelings. They can't communicate feelings because they don't know them.
I think when I say AI music, I don't know if we're going to be at like creating full on, like we've seen programs that develop songs that'll just build a song based off of disco.
Yeah, I think there's like the AI version of the tools that we're seeing for video editors or like for image creators and stuff like that. Yeah, the audio equivalent of that is going to be really exciting, I think. Like the things that enable you to strip all of the background noise out of your shitty audio take that you did on your phone.
But I think sound design is also going to be something really cool. Like we have these programs where we can take these sounds and, manipulate them and get this stuff. Like it's going to be a lot of, I think what will be really cool, what I was thinking about is just even getting approximations of what a computer thinks X sounds like and then using that as an instrument.
Yeah, no, I saw actually there's this cool, I'm probably going to get it because it looks really good, but there's this cool plugin that you basically can just load audio files into,
Right.
and it makes them into granular synths.
Cool.
So you can just fucking
Yeah.
You can do that with Serum.
Yeah.
You can just put wavetables in there,
Yeah.
right? If you get a kick drum,
Right.
and you just load it in there, it'll
Right.
make a synth out of it,
Right.
which is fun. Actually, that's what Quick Sampler is.
Yeah,
That's
you load
exactly
them in.
what Quick Sampler is. It's a synth based
Yep.
on a sample that you put
Yep.
into it. Yeah. So I feel like we've been there, but also the ability for the computer to have input on
Exactly
what those things are and how they sound and stuff like that. I think that's where we're really going to get into a cool feedback loop of, fucking the thing listens to itself and then makes decisions. And then like Golf Floss is a great example, right? Of like, like an EQ that listens to your output
Right.
like thousands of times a second and makes EQ adjustments like 300 times a second.
What are your go-to plugins?
That's for what?
What are your go-to plugins for, say you want to do synths? Like, where do you start when you're creating a song?
Again, like it really depends on like what we're doing. If we're going for full on like 80s sounding like synth, like if we're trying to be The Weeknd, then we want to like either find a Juno plugin that sounds really good or like actually get our hands on some old synths. But yeah, like I would say, like the Tal shit is great.
Tal stuff's great.
Serum is obviously a go-to. We go to a lot.
Yep.
We have the Arturia, Analog Lab, I think 5 now.
Nice. Not sponsored, by the way.
None of this is sponsored. Kid you tell.
What about if you really want to, like, say you want to take a sound and you want to make it like not sound like that sound?
Yeah.
Say you want to just start crushing the shit or creating something that's like very distinct.
Yeah, again, it's all kind of context specific, and like Logic itself has lots of really good plugins for all applications. Like, they have a good library of compression, they have a good library of distortion, they have a good library of like weird modulation stuff. So you can do most things with just like native Logic plugins. I find like with YouTube University and just figuring out, if you ask a couple like of friends who are musicians, like a producer friend that you have, like what something is that you're hearing, they're like, oh, what is this sound? Like, oh, that's like a reverse reverb. And then you just go ahead and type reverse reverb into fucking YouTube.
Someone can show you how to do it.
They'll just explain the shit out of it. It'll be great. You'll see it happen in your DAW step by step. It'll be great. So that's the kind of stuff that like is like the real difference, I think, between not knowing how to do something and being like really proficient. So like the more you can do that for yourself, the more you can find those little like gaps in your knowledge and fucking plug those in. Like I would say it's not like one specific plugin. Like I use a compressor, like a stock Logic compressor, probably on every track, aside from drums that came in already fucking done from Splice. Like that guy gets a lot of work. But I wouldn't say that like he's my favorite plugin. He's versatile and fast because he's right in the first menu, like first in the drop down menu. But yeah, I don't know. There's a bit of a flavor of the month thing going on too. Like your newest plugin is always your favorite plugin for a while, and then
it's always nice. You get a new plugin, and then you like start to build out songs with it, and you're like, oh fuck, this is it. This is what I've been waiting for.
This is the game changer. But then you're like, it's just another thing that you use.
What's interesting, I was listening to some of our earlier stuff, like pre-Splice. I think Hanging Up fell into that category, where it was just, I remember you, whenever you would create like the track, you would go directly to the Logic stock sounds. So for the first year that we were producing, year and a half producing, a lot of the sounds are just
everything's Logic stocks,
out of the box.
Because I was like, nobody uses these, and they're fire. Logic did an update, I think 2019, 2018, 20, and
that was a good update.
The new sounds were fucking sweet, and no one was using them. You could hear like a GarageBand loop on the radio every now and then, but like I wasn't. Like, and I was like, oh, people are sleeping on these. So and if you find the controls, because you can open up the actual synthesizers in most of them. Like they'll give you the stupid Logic controls that are like the little 4 or 5 knobs that you can turn or whatever to make it do more reverb or less reverb or whatever. But if you actually open up the synth on the channel, games are changed. If you have Logic and you haven't enabled all of the like pro tools or whatever. Somewhere there's a menu that you can enable all of the hidden stuff that's inside Logic. Do a quick YouTube for that. Yeah, definitely worth it. Turn all that stuff on immediately. You'll make Logic 10 times more powerful. There's a bunch of stuff you don't even know about. Verispeed, all sorts of crazy witchcraft.
Verispeed's cool. Verispeed's like a cool tool that you can use to just like manipulate voices and stuff like that. But also it's just a really nice to just... I remember when someone first introduced me to Verispeed, they were like, I use it to check like what's going on in my song. Because what happens, I find, is you throw a bunch of shit in there. Mm-hmm. If you're more of just like a wild, just idea in head onto paper producer like me, where it's just like, I have idea for this and this and this. You just throw all of this stuff in. You're like listening to the song. You're like, yeah, it sounds good. But then
also, you've heard it a bunch. Is the other thing.
Exactly.
While making it, you've gone through this thing thousands of times. So it's like at that point, it's hard to be an objective listener.
Yeah. So it's good to just slow that down and be like, all right, what is going on? Do all of these pockets need to fit to be filled, or do you even need?
I feel like we could lose this whole layer. Take up a lot of space in that like high area.
Exactly.
Or whatever. Yeah.
It's just good for like slowing stuff and be like, all right, cool. Because especially I know a lot of you have the hyper pop, you have the drum and bass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, a lot of that is 160, 170 BPM.
Yeah, you have these like really fast tracks, and so it's
200. 100 gex and stuff. Like.
Yeah, exactly. 100 gex. It's important to be like very like intentional with with the stuff that you're putting into your track, just because you can do a lot more with a lot less. Mm-hmm. I think there's always like a lot of layering, there's a lot of doubling over that you do, and you build this really like thick track, but you didn't really need all of these things. There could have been maybe like a few less things that you take out and like still gotten the same absolute product out of it.
Yeah.
What are we doing for time? Are we good?
I didn't start the thing.
Okay.
We could check the phone,
should I?
I don't know.
Was there anything else worth covering at least today? We were talking earlier about, I think one of the things we were talking earlier about was just, there's a bit of standing on your own 2 feet thing, and then there's a bit of holy shit, I'm still doing this and I still haven't figured out what's going on.
I feel like that's just life though. I think
it is.
I think someone explained this really the other day. Like the more you get into the like specifics of something, then the more you notice those specifics.
Yep.
So the better you get at any given thing, let's say you're being a race car driver,
right,
then the more you're gonna notice like the little things about like your driving style, or you're the way you take corners, or that are like not good,
right.
So you're always gonna have stuff to work on, because as you get better, you're gonna notice smaller things,
I think it's good to be that person as well.
100%. Like someone, we'll find the actual quote, but someone said at some point, he who does not constantly improve ceases to be good. And I heard that once and I was like, damn. So you mean I gotta keep practicing the drums? Shit.
Yeah, there isn't this, I always fall into this trap, which is there isn't this like end destination that you're gonna just know everything.
No, the destination is trying to be better.
Yeah,
is the destination. Literally there's a station called trying to get better.
Yeah, exactly.
That you're just always on the train toward.
And I think that's one of the things that keeps me going.
Yeah. I think that's the reason that like millionaires don't just stop existing.
Yeah.
Like what if you just got $1 million? Like people are like, I could die happy if I had XX. Like if you got all that stuff tomorrow, you wouldn't just decide to stop existing. You'd be like, I have all this stuff. This is sweet. But you would also try to figure out like, what do I want next?
What am I
what's
gonna
the
do
next
now?
shit? I managed to get a mountain on a hillside with fucking a 4-car garage, and my business is successful or whatever, like all of the stuff. And then what now? I think from now you're like, oh, I'm gonna get a jet. Like you just
life
change
stuff's just gonna happen whether you succeed or whether you don't get exactly what you want.
Or some people are like, oh, I'm gonna have a family now, right? Like, which is obviously the next thing. I don't want to be alone forever. Let me get some other people in on this ride that I fucking started.
Oh crap! Now you got things too. Oh shit!
Damn it!
All right, cool. All right, what's going on with your life?
Yeah, it makes sense if you have millions of dollars that you would like start.
Yeah,
some kind of legacy. But yeah, I don't know. Who knows? I don't have millions of dollars. If you don't know,
I don't.
You can't tell.
Millions of dollars. I have millions of dollars where it counts.
If you can't tell, I don't know what that means, and I don't want to find out. If you, I don't know. If you,
my heart is where I have millions of dollars.
That's what he means.
That's what I meant.
Anyways, yeah, I think you know, yes, success is a many-headed beast. And again, it's a monster in your closet.
Yep.
It requires actual definition for it to have any sort of meaningful impact, right? Yeah. If you can't tell yourself where you're going and tell other people like articulately, then it's hard. It's rough. Yeah. So figure that out first. And then once you accept the fact that what you're talking about is huge and giant,
anything that you do
and monumental,
anything you can do, there's always going to be opportunities to improve.
Also, you don't have to be as ambitious as, oh, we want to make an animated character that stars in his own movie. You really do not need to be.
You don't need to.
I would highly recommend not being that ambitious.
If you just put some music out, that's also fine.
Yeah, just take some pictures of yourself while you're still 20 and looking cute, and put those on the internet. And
that's it. Just do that.
Don't worry about any of this nonsense.
Just ride.
But if you're in this position already, or if you have other kind of giant lofty goals, like I want to live on an island by myself, like what are the steps that you're taking today, tomorrow to do those things? But like, how do you define that success as well? Like, how do you make the money that gets you to the fucking island where you live by yourself? The more details you can have, then the easier it's going to be to like make this into a reality. You can't just imagine. It'll be a daydream forever as you work in your fucking office job or whatever your existence is. Yeah, that you just think of every now and then. Oh, that like, desert island that I'm going to move to one day. You know what I mean? Just figure it out.
Yeah, and I think like the first thing is just, I know there's a lot of options. Just try and pick a direction, I think is a really big thing.
Yeah. Like just maybe
try and head somewhere.
Maybe you can find a job that's like a version of your job, but it's like a remote, like if you work from home, and like Skynet is a thing or whatever, the fucking satellites with the internet. Just hook up your boat with that. And then you can just live on a boat and then chill on your desert island that you're talking about. You know what I mean? Like that'd be chill. That'd be a chill version of that dream. These are actionable steps you can take towards getting that. You got to find the job that's remote. You got to save up your pennies and buy a boat that has the Skynet internet, and then you gotta fucking sail down to the Caribbean or whatever. And that's step 1, 2, 3.
Yeah,
there you
exactly. Go. And that's where I think I was trying to say earlier is where it's like it can be a version. You might think the first is I want to own an island and live on that island and stuff like that. There might be another version of that is just as satisfying and doesn't take $50 billion or $50 million or whatever to own and set up the piping.
This is why it's important to to define your success. It needs to be a mansion with plumbing on the island. We got some work to do.
And then just I don't know, man, just try things. Just fucking, and I think the way to figure out what you want is just try things and just see what gets you excited. See what kind of throws you off, and make sure you dig into it a little bit more. I think it's important to be like, okay, why does this make me excited? Why does this make me frustrated? Yeah. And just it's a long game. It's a very long game. And
I was always just interested in things that people told me were hard. Yep. Because people early on made the mistake of telling me that I was smart. Yeah. So I was like, I'm smart. I can do anything. People say it's hard, but they're not as smart as I am. So I'll figure it out. No. So people always said the music industry was hard. Yeah. So I was like, I can figure that bitch out. No problem. No, that's the hard for you, not hard for me.
Hard for you.
Let's go.
Not hard for me.
Yeah, but the reality is, it's hard in ways that they're doing their best to tell you. Yeah, but until you're just in your own little shitty apartment
and you're just like
trying to scrape together money off of the gigs that you have that are paying like $200 each at a time. That's when it's gonna really. You don't know. You don't know till then. I don't really want to talk to you until you're 23, 24, because that's when you really know. You started to figure it out. Yeah. You're like, oh, this really sucks. Yeah. But that's all you know about it. And you're still trying to pretend that you're like doing okay. You're like, actually, no, I like went on tour last year or whatever. You didn't make any money on the tour, but you went on the tour.
You went on the tour.
Physically went.
And you knew. So, and you know what it takes.
You were on a lot of stages. Yeah. You slept in the bus. Yep. You did all the rock star stuff.
Had all the stuff. Guitar in your bag.
Yeah, but like
your back.
Are we buying a house anytime soon? I don't think so. Like these are the things that we do in our 20s. Yep. In order to get all of the information that we need to try to fucking do what we're doing right now, which is put it all together and try to make a thing.
And you might genuinely make a few different turns. Like my friend.
Yep. Again, this is like both of our third or fourth. Yeah. swing at a commercial thing that is successful and makes money.
Okay, I have a buddy. He did music. Like, he went to production school. Then he did rigging stuff, and now he's in social work. Like, that thing, all of those things happened in his 20s.
Yeah.
Like, all of those things happened in his 20s.
But this is what your 20s is for, right? Is, I can do stuff I can do a year or 2 years or 3 years on something and not feel like I've wasted my whole ability or life, because you still have that time. So I would use your 20s to the fullest of your ability.
Just use it.
Yeah.
You're young, you're dumb, you don't know anything.
We did our 20s, so you don't have to. No, that's not that's not the message of the podcast.
No, just go out and try. Go out and try.
Yeah.
And be safe.
No, honestly, it's like it will be some of the best times of your life. It will be some of the hardest times of your life also. But like that, sometimes that's why it's the best times of your life.
Yep.
Like struggle and like.
If you decide to start a music project in your 30s, you'll be writing all about your 20s.
Fucking when shit's just super easy and there's no drama. Like a 50-year-old's life is so boring because it's just everything's all set up. They're saving for retirement.
Yep.
They have their job they've been at the same job for 40 years.
They figured out what they want to do. That's their thing.
Like just all of this stuff. Not 40 years, but yeah, I just did the
depends
math.
on
I
where
did the math on that too. Yeah, it's okay. But yeah, like they've been at a job for 20 years. They've fucking figured all of their stuff out, right? And they're at a 50-year-old is listening to this being like, I don't feel like I figured any of my stuff out. But this is life. This is the life thing that we were talking about earlier. But I think their stability track has evened out, right? They're less doing crazy, like exciting, risky things. And they're less doing the depressed for a week in bed.
They figured out their
no
thing.
one fucking likes me right now thing. Because I said that shit at that party,
or like, whatever it is. I have 5 friends, and these are my friends. That's it.
Yeah.
You're not like, why won't this person text me back? I don't feel
or like my 2 friends are on the vacation, and then the other 3 are fucking doing their startup together. And I feel left out because I don't have a job right now, and so you feel like you can't talk to me. Like everyone's been to all of those places, but that's not happening when you're 50, and so like your life is more normalized. Yeah. So I think fucking your 20s is the time for all of that. Like fucking
embrace the waves.
Sort out your friend group. Do all of the stuff. Date too many guys or girls or whatever you're into.
Go have a party.
Every now and then someone flushes their toilet. I think it must be upstairs or something, but it's very loud in here.
Anyways, we got to get to do stuff. We have things to do. Is that probably?
That's probably
it. All right. It's
it's sounding like a bunch of old millennials we have this entire podcast are out here after this is the face of a man who has made it through his 20s.
I'm at the end. I'm coming for you 30s.
Yeah. So what do you have to say at the end of your 20s, having made it through all of that stuff?
Embrace the waves.
Waves. Yeah, waves are real. The waves are real for sure.
It's going to be a lot of this.
You got to learn how to surf.
You got to learn how to fucking surf.
Yeah.
Embrace the waves. Know that more are coming. Know that it's just, it's like just lots of learning experiences.
I like the surf analogy actually, because that's if you can feel the wave of good stuff starting to happen for you, then start paddling. Yeah. And then hop up on that surfboard and ride that shit, because who knows when that'll stop. Yeah. But if you can ride it, then you'll stay on the front of the wave longer rather than the wave taking you up and then back down.
As well, I would say find what brings you passion. Find what gets you excited, which is genuinely like you're excited to jump out of bed and do. Mm-hmm. And then find other people who are like that.
But also don't worry when things end. Is the other thing. It's your 20s, so lots of things are going to end. Lots of things are going to end. Lots of things are going to start and then end real quick. Many
different friend groups.
I had lots of different friend groups. I had lots of different bands. I had lots of different people that I worked with.
Music that I thought was going to be the greatest thing I've ever written.
Oh, every time I was like, this is the one. This is the project. We just made the song that's going to be the one that's on the radio, that gets me famous, that gets me whatever, that gets me $1 million, whatever.
It's these,
this is just what happens. These are the waves, right? And like every time one of those things went away, I had the other side of the wave, the trough of the wave, where I was all, this is depressing, and I don't know if I should do this. I'm gonna quit music. Yeah. But yeah, embrace the waves. Like you'll get back to a zero and be the top of the wave again.
Yeah. And you'll eventually get to the point where you're just like, hey, I noticed these waves. They're no longer just like affecting me unconsciously. I'm like, okay, you know what? This is just, it's a trough. Oh, it's going to go back up.
I think for me, 28, 29 was like the waves are still there, but like your brain stays.
Yeah, exactly. You're just like,
right. You're chilling. You're like, oh, I know this sucks.
Yeah,
but it's okay because
this is great,
can't
but also,
for long.
You know?
This can't suck this much for this long.
Yeah.
Again, there are lots of people in situations that like this doesn't apply to.
Yep.
But I feel like
you might be a genius that figured it out at 22.
Yeah, or you could be homeless.
Yep.
But I feel like homeless people don't watch podcasts on YouTube.
Maybe.
They might. They honestly might, and I'm sorry if you are right now. But you like that's not. Everything's temporary. You know what I mean?
Yep.
We're all moving from one situation to another situation all of the time. And yeah, that's the only thing that you can really count on is that everything is going to change. That's the real takeaway, I think, from like this whole rant about how to be in your 20s successfully. Yeah, the only thing that you can really count on is that everything is always going to change all the time.
So pick a direction.
Yep.
And embrace the waves.
Pick a direction.
Define your destination.
And embrace the waves.
Embrace the waves. All right, that's all from Polo Lewis today.
A 3-step guide to being in your 20s from
You're just going to have to figure it out.
Oh, your fly's open.
Oh, is it? Oh, sorry.
Hey, yo.
R.I.P.
Hey, yo. R.I.P.
V.I.P.
Canceled. Podcast canceled. All right. Wait, we need a sign off. We also need a sign off. We said the thing at the beginning, but we were bad at it.
From everyone here at Polo Lewis Incorporated.
Yeah, everyone. All of us. Both of us. Anyways, fucking, that's it. I'm Julian. This is F.
I'm Everett.
Yeah, we're Polo Lewis. Have a good day.
Peace.
Peace.